going to work on knife skills with a watermelon. Similar to the cantaloupe, with a watermelon, you're going to want to wash it first. And then once we get it on our cutting board, it's round. So we're going to have to figure out a way to make this stable so that we can cut properly and safely. So let's trim both of those ends. We're going to trim the blossom end and the stem end again. Once that's trimmed, you can stand the watermelon up on one of the flat sides. Here we go. So that it's nice and stable when we make that cut to split it in half. You may have to turn the watermelon around to cut through the other side. Try to make the cut as even as possible. Oh, beautiful, perfectly ripe. We just have one little spot that has a small bruise on it, and we can cut that away. So now, like the cantaloupe, we're going to cut the watermelon into quarters so that we can trim the rind. Moving a piece of watermelon out of the way so there's enough room to cut safely on the cutting board, we're going to go ahead and flip the piece of watermelon so that we can cut away the rind. Just be careful when you make the cut. You don't want to cut away too much of the flesh because you're going to reduce your yield and increase your costs. You can always go back and make some more cuts to cut away the white part underneath the rind. Just cut this last piece off. There we go. And we'll check around to see if we need to do a little bit of cleanup. Cutting away that white pith. So now we have just the beautiful red and pink juicy flesh there. And we're going to go ahead and cut the watermelon in 3 different size slices so we can do some experimenting with size. So the first slice is going to be about an index or thumb width size. The second slice we're going to make is going to be a little bit bigger, about twice that. And then we're going to make a smaller slice to see how that comes out. There we go. So let's just move some of this out of the way for now. And we'll focus on our cuts here. You can see our 3 slices, one that's the index or thumb width, the second one that's double that, and then the third one that's about a pinky width. This one's definitely going to be too small. The middle one's going to be too big. The first one is going to be perfect. So let's move the small and large pieces out of the way for now. Let's bring the first piece, which is the index finger width piece, and let's cut that into long strips that we call batons. Again, about another index finger width wide. So we'll make those cuts nice and even. And then once we cut those batons, we're going to cut a few batons at a time of similar sizes. So we'll start with these 2. And then can cut those in half for efficiency. Line them up. And then start cutting in, again, finger width length. So that should give you a square, a finger by a finger by a finger. Sometimes you have a larger piece which you can cut in half. So let's move those out of the way. And then we'll work on cutting our very large piece. So you've got 2 finger widths, so you're going to cut that by 2 finger widths into batons. You're going to turn that. And you can cut those chunks into 2 finger width slices. So again, you're going to have some squares, but they're going to be larger squares. It's a lot bigger. It's probably too big for our portion cups. So we'll move these guys out of the way, make a little room to be safe, and we'll get our thin slice about the pinky width, and we'll cut those into batons that are pinky width slices, as straight as possible. And we don't need that. We'll just cut this. So cut those in half, stack them for efficiency, and then cut again, pinky width. That's how you get a cube. Same dimensions, every size. All right. So now we've got 3 different sizes of watermelon. We've got our small dice watermelon, about our 1/2 inch dice there, like the cucumber. Then we've got our medium size there. And we have our large size pieces too, which are going to be too big. Just like Goldilocks, we need just the right size so they fit into the cup properly. So let's get our ideal sized pieces first. This is the finger width by finger width, index finger. So see how that fits into the cup, nice and compact, no extra space. The pieces aren't too small, so they're not going to weep a lot with all that surface area of those tiny pieces. Okay, so let's try the big pieces now. Doesn't look like we're going to be able to fit that many in there, and for those of you who are lidding their fruit, that's a problem. You've got a lot of empty spaces, which means your kids aren't getting enough fruit in the cup. Ooh, and we don't want to squish it, especially for watermelon. All right. So it seems like we might only be able to get a few pieces of watermelon comfortably in this cup, or half a cup rather. So let's try our small pieces. Oh, look underneath. Look how much juice has come out of those already. So these pieces are going to get soggy quickly because they're weeping. They do fit nicely in the half a cup, but that's almost minced watermelon and it's too much liquid. So if you want to prep that the night before, that's not going to work for you. It's going to be soggy by morning. So as you can see here, the first pieces that we cut, the index finger by index finger by index finger pieces, are going to be the best.